Hi everybody, this is Arthur with A Day in Telos. And do you know, if you're watching this in Australia or South America or even in California, we've got the hot plate for Allou Guthmiller today. And she's going to show us some things about reconnecting. Well, you tell her what about it. I'm sorry. Hey, this is Allou. Come on over. There you are. Hey, give us a clue on who you are and what you're all about.
Yes, I'm going to talk to you today and do a demo on Reconnective healing, which is a new form of healing that is available on the planet now. And it's a more comprehensive, it's very simple, and the amazing part is that no longer is just one person the healer.
No longer? Nope. You mean we don't have to go before somebody else?
Exactly. Everyone has the potential.
I like that. Everybody has the potential. Now, who is Eric here?
Eric Pearl is the one that introduced the work. Back in the 90s, he was a very successful chiropractor and had some reconnective healing work done. Actually, at that time, it was called accitonal alignment.
There you go. That's
when
a word.
It was,
can you say that again?
Oh, it was then. But this brought through this amazing work.
I see. Yes. There you go.
Yeah.
So, give us a little bit about you before we go into the next little segment.
Well, actually, I think it'd be kind of really cool to segue into showing Eric Pearl demonstrating.
Oh, that sounds great. So let's get that Eric Pearl DVD on.
The Living Matrix.
The Living.
It's a 5-minute. 5-minute.
Oh, there it is, right there.
Five-year-old Dimitri was born with cerebral palsy. There is no medical cure for this condition.
When Dimitri was born, the doctors told us he might never be able to walk, never be independent, that he would have, since this was a chronic disease, certain damage to his health that he might never recover from. We had not tried any alternative. Personally, I trusted nothing but the standard approaches. Until some people we trusted, because we knew them well, told us about Eric.
We think of healing as getting up out of wheelchairs, vision returning, hearing returning, cancers disappearing, all sorts of things. And these things happen. They happen.
The idea initially was just to attend a seminar that might show us some ways to help Dimitri as a family.
This little boy's parents came up and said, will I do a healing session after a presentation that I gave? And I said, well, they're closing the room, but let me finish signing these books and we'll get them to keep the room open for just a little bit longer. What's wrong? And they explained he had cerebral palsy.
After the seminar was completed, they met for the first time, just for a short while, about 10 or 15 minutes.
There's something in cerebral palsy that's very common where your feet, instead of your feet being able to be flat on the ground, the heel was up. So his heel would not be able to touch the ground. He was scheduled for surgery for that. He had to wear supports and braces. For him to be able to get up, he'd have to hold on to furniture or people's clothing. For him to be able to go down any steps at all, he'd have to sit down on the steps and push himself down a step at a time. And to go up, he'd have to crawl on his hands and knees.
We stepped on the stage with Dimitri, put him on the bed that was there, and told him that he should stay calm and collaborate with Eric, and that nothing would happen that might bother him. It was strange for us to think that this man was trying to heal him using his hands, and yet without actually touching him.
He got up after 4 minutes and was not just walking, he was jumping and he was running.
It was a huge surprise and a great joy for us. But at the same time, we were left wondering, how does this all work? So fast, so directly, and so effectively. He was walking properly, not standing on his tiptoes. And there was no need for anyone to help him climb the stairs, which was what usually happened. Other children may naturally walk up and down the stairs every day, but Dmitri was unable to do this. So accomplishing such things is very important for him.
They brought him back down for another session. He had one hand that was closed. I didn't know. He looked at me in Greek. He said, "Look, I can open my hand." He was just 5. He said, "It doesn't hurt anymore." He said, "Look, I can hold a glass and drink by myself."
Now his fist is open. It is relaxed and cooperates with the left hand much better, which is very helpful. It's not closed into a fist, which bothered him a lot. And when he wants to give us a hug, he used to do it with only one hand. Now, a full hug, and says, "You see, I can do it. I'm a big boy now." Of course, his hand isn't fully functional yet, but together with the left hand, it works somehow, and he doesn't reject it.
Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of reconnective healing is that it can be learned.
Now, I didn't believe that this was something one can learn. I thought it was something only Eric was capable of doing. I didn't think I could acquire these skills too, and help you, my neighbor, my friend. But in the course of the program, right away, we saw for ourselves that yes, you can indeed learn to help others. If you see the living example standing in front of your eyes, as we see our own child, then I think that yes, you believe it.
I saw the little kid. Now, what were they talking about in that particular part of it? What were they doing there? Energy work on him?
No, it's not energy work as much as working with light. It's a newer form of healing, which includes a lot of the modalities that we've had in the past.
So you're saying light?
Yes, it's
okay.
Working with light and information. And it includes, like Reiki, it includes a lot of the modalities we've had.
Right.
And yet it's so absolutely simple. And later on I'll do a little demo also. Reconnective healing was introduced by Eric Pearl, and in June, the 21st through the 23rd, they're going to be doing a seminar in Sacramento.
Oh, in Sacramento.
And, yeah, so people can actually learn the work.
And where will that be at?
It'll be on the website.
Okay, they can go to the website to find out in Sacramento.
Yeah.
And that'll be a demonstration?
It'll be a whole weekend where people will be able to learn reconnective healing.
There you go. That sounds like a good thing for people to do. I have been working with the light as far as raising your vibration with the light. Each cell can hold anywhere from 70 millivolts to 90 millivolts of light. And that is charged by a negative ion. And when you eat live foods and you use a Reiki type energy, it raises each individual cell.
It's very interesting. As a practitioner of reconnective healing, people say, don't you use protection or something if you're working with someone that's really got a low vibration? And the interesting thing when you work with light, you don't need protection because anything denser than light falls off. So actually, as I'm working, there's light going down into the DNA. And very subtly, it changes the chemistry and just, it's like this table's not solid, you and I are not solid.
Right, exactly.
And somehow the light working with reconnective healing brings the body into a place of balance so that it can re-establish and go into a deeper level of who they truly are.
There you go. I like that. You're on the right track, my friend. Yes. So, now you said Eric, in his process of learning, he developed this particular modality.
It was a discovery, yes.
A discovery, yes.
And he found that actually when he moved away from the body, people would have these profound healing experiences. And for a long time, he didn't understand what was happening. It was kind of, he would go to all sorts of people to find out. And then, like, he'd work on one client, and they'd have, that were crippled all their lives, and suddenly they're right in front of him, their legs would straighten. And then they would go home and work on someone, and it just began to be like a snowball just rolling along, and people started having all sorts of healings. So they asked him to teach the work, and how can I teach this work? So eventually he was able to bring this all over, and the great part is that spending one weekend submerged in these frequencies, you carry it for the rest of your life, and you are able then to do healings the same as anyone else in this world, like
Right.
John of God or Eric Pearl. They're not the only ones. Everyone who
Everybody
learns
has
this
that
work.
potential.
Yes.
It's just remembering how to do it in a big way.
And learning, it's like letting go of all the information overload we carry. We have the children come in and learn this work, and within 2 hours they got it. But when we have adults come in for a whole weekend, they go away, and they feel like they should have a 4 years degree to do this work. So we have to unlearn.
You got to realize that that's what they educate everybody to believe they have to do.
It's a challenge to let go of all our concepts of how we think things are. And until we actually check things out, we don't know.
I had a friend who she tells me whenever she does anything, she says, if you just remember how you used to do it, you'll remember how you can do it today. And she would just do body work from the light body to and not even have to touch anybody, but she would make a big difference in bringing in the light. And she'd always say, just remember. And when I remember each little step, I see it in a big way.
We're just living at a very extraordinary time, and I just feel it's like it's always good to learn something new every year.
You got it right.
It enlivens your spirit. Okay, I'm a nurse, and years back I learned long time ago that follow what's interesting to you. And so, okay, I do ER nursing, and if you're going to have a heart attack, you better come in the hospital. Don't you come to me for reconnective healing. However, this has a purpose and this has a purpose. So for me, I always like to explore the holistic body, mind, and spirit. So over the years, I explore all the different modalities. And then I stumbled on this.
if a person came to you, and we'll just
Yes.
use you as a person came to you, and you started working with them, and you had a premonition about a heart attack. Is there things that you see in the body happening, or in the energetic body happening before that?
Well, this is the wonderful thing about doing reconnective healing. I have discovered that the best healings are when I know absolutely nothing about that person. So I don't have to get in there trying to diagnose, figure out what's up. Now, if somebody comes in, they're looking a little bit gray under the collar and they're complaining of chest pain, I'll tell them to go where they need to go.
Of course. But what I'm getting at is the step before they start feeling all that. Can you see something happening in their etheric body, or their light body, or their energetic
Actually,
body?
you know, this doesn't work that way. Reconnective healing, that's why I'm saying it's so different from what we've had in the past. There is nothing about trying to figure out, see, do pendulum checking, none of that. It's already been included. It's the next step. It's like we're on an escalator. We keep going up. And sometimes you have to let go of the old ways. Yes, they were useful. Yes, it was useful to get in and, ooh, that's out of balance. I better work on that. I love the freedom of this because I don't have to figure anything out.
You're not actually, what I'm hearing you say is you don't pick up anything that's happening.
I
You
don't
just go
look
in
for
there
that,
and you
yes.
just do what you feel led to do without any questions.
Yes,
Am I correct
that's
there?
correct.
Okay.
That's
all right.
correct.
See, that's important
It
because...
bypasses the stories.
Yeah, that's important because then spirit, in my way of looking at it, spirit guides you intuitively. Just do the work and not analyze what you're doing.
Well, the interesting thing of this work is that whoever learns it is a catalyst. So you have the client, and then you have the practitioner, and then you have God, love, source, universe. So there's actually three in this equation, and you're invited into a sacred equation when you are invited to participate.
There you go. I like that. Invited to participate. That is very important. I've always been told, don't ask if you can help somebody. Sometimes it's better for them to ask you if you can help them. And then that kind of opens up a door where it's not, you're not taking responsibility on it. Hey, you were going to do a demonstration. Are we about that time where you can do that?
I sure can. Sure. I normally like to pick somebody I don't know.
Okay.
And so that it's just kind of
Well, I
spontaneous.
noticed you came in here and you knew everybody, so what do you do at that case?
Actually, I don't.
Oh, you don't know
I
everybody.
checked with, she's
Oh,
one of your camera person in back, Sarah.
Sarah,
yes.
Sarah, are you able to come out now? Come on out of there. Hey,
Yes.
now you don't know Sarah,
No.
so you have no idea about her. So
Nope, and I don't know what to expect.
This is Sarah. Hey, Sarah. You seem to be getting a lot of perks lately.
Yes, I do.
So, how do you want to do that? Should you just lay on her stomach?
So I'm going to do some reconnective healing, and you can just quietly observe. Sarah, you can lay down here, take your shoes off.
Okay.
Actually, probably your head here, so the cameras probably can see.
So the cameras can see my feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't go to
So
sleep. now.
let's pretend you're come in and you want to experience reconnective healing. Normally, we do 1 to 3 sessions, never more, because it's not about dependency. We feel like after the 3rd session, whatever is meant to unfold will. So reconnective healing, the intent is to heal something. Could be physical, spiritual, mental, or emotional. I can never guarantee what kind of healing you'll have. but something will happen. Sometimes it's immediate, sometimes you notice it 24 hours later, but something does happen.
Okay.
And I've been doing this work since 2002.
Good. I bet you there's a process up to that.
I've traveled with Eric since 2004, all over the world. I've been around, we go to Australia, New Zealand, Turkey, London, all
Wow,
over.
and you're teaching this?
Yes, I help, yes, yeah.
How beautiful.
So,
That's
and
good.
it's very powerful, especially like in Japan, we get like 600 students on a weekend.
600.
And
Bunch of healing
you
people
see
there.
some amazing things happen, And during the seminar, you get time like this, you get to just lay down and be the client. And then you've got
See you
time.
later.
Yes, then you've got time to practice. And then you've got time to be the critical observer. It's always good to observe, and trust your own, trust your own experience. Trust your own experience. But anyway, so right now, I'll just do a little reconnective healing. So there's nothing you need to do. I'm going to take your little glasses off.
Very good.
And just take a couple deep breaths and close your eyes. I know the lights are kind of bright, but that doesn't matter. Nothing gets in the way of this. You'll hear me speaking in the background. Just allow yourself to drift. You're aware of everything. Nothing you need to do. Just your time to just be. So one of the first things sometimes I notice when I'm doing this work is they immediately go into a REM state. You'll see her eyes flickering. This is what we call a register. Let you know that something's happening. So what I like about this, nothing gets in the way of doing this work. Sound, nothing. I can go through a chair. And if you see, her eyes are still moving. It's really wonderful. Normally I do this for about a half hour. And the person there just seems to sink into a deep, deep place. And when I'm doing this, it's such a wonderful time because just being in the present moment, it almost feels like I'm falling in love. It's quite delicious. So it's not about diagnosing, it's more about observing and being present. And then God loves Source, the universe, the client in you. Something magical happens. This works with babies, old people, young people. Even works with animals. Not too long ago, one of my friends in Maryland invited me to a horse farm where there were abused horses. I was horrified because I'd never really worked with animals at that point. But I thought, well, okay, let's give it a try. You don't know until you try. And the owners had a horse out in the field. And it was about a good 100 yards off. And they said it had been circling for 2 weeks. Didn't know why it was there. So it was a sunny day. I hopped up on the fence and started playing like this. And I didn't have my watch with me at the time, so I didn't know how long I was working. Suddenly I got bored. And I was ready to quit. And then I noticed the horse go down on his knees and just roll on its back. And I thought, ooh, something's happening. I guess I better keep playing. And I did. And later the owner said that when a horse lets go and relaxes, that's what it does.
Mm-hmm.
So we have someone actually that teaches working with horses and all kinds of animals. And that's on the website. It's called www.thereconnection.com. Even the breathing changes. Again, nothing gets in the way of this work. Nothing. See? Can you see her pupils? Mm-hmm. Sometimes they really roll.
Is she going into alpha?
She almost immediately goes into a run state. I'll just do it for a few more minutes. And Reconnective healing. So this is work that anyone and everyone can learn. From doctors to housewives to aerospace engineers. They come from every walk of life. It's an exciting time to be living. So reconnective healing is not considered a treatment. It brings one into a state of balance. So what's no longer necessary gets, and sometimes rebalances the imbalances in the body.
She's levitating.
Take your time. And then when you're ready, very gradually,
She's levitating again. She's
So
away.
what did you notice? What were you aware of?
Well, it was,
Stay seated. Stay seated.
It was very relaxing. Certainly did feel like
What did you feel?
just really deep, like almost immediately, like you said. I mean, at first I was like, okay, it's sort of like the corpse pose in yoga, but it was kind of deeper than that. And then I kind of got a little tingly.
Tingling, yeah. And how do you feel now?
felt
Do you feel like a
good.
new person?
I'm just reborn.
You feel like
No, I was thinking it's just like rebooting a computer or something. you know?
rebooted it. There you are.
all your files in a
Yeah, I
row or
could
something.
tell, you
I don't
know.
know, but it was it felt good.
Felt
We'll
like
see.
the files were
I
getting
don't
into
know.
order.
We'll see. Like you said,
So you'll have to come back for
Yes,
2 more
exactly.
sessions. Ah.
I'll come back and let you
Yeah,
know.
they normally last about an hour, well, a half hour on the table and
that would be a lot.
half hour, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
Were
powerful.
you-
Healing can happen in an instant. However, for our psychology and the lifestyle we live, for the body to actually have a half hour of just pausing is just very healthy.
Yeah.
But for the sake of the, we do this for our sake, but for the universe, it's like that. Boom. Yeah. So thank you.
It's very
Sarah.
interesting. Thank you.
Did you see any colors or hear anything? I'm
Oops,
just
sorry.
going through. Sometimes people remember something else.
No, I think with those lights,
Yeah.
it was. I wasn't really seeing a lot of colors, but that didn't. At first that was kind of, even with your eyes closed, that's pretty bright.
Okay.
But
Well, if you
then-
notice anything later, let me know. I'm
Okay.
always curious
Okay.
because sometimes 15 minutes later, oh gosh, But
Okay.
anyway, it varies.
Okay.
But thank you for participating.
Sure.
Catch up to it.
Anytime.
All right, girl.
Thank you.
We will have to find another perk for you.
Always happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you again.
There's another work that we do with Reconnective Healing, like I say, 1 to 3 sessions, and then what's called the reconnection. And that's done, that's actually the work that brought through such a change in Eric. And it's done, it's once in a lifetime, and it's done in 2 sessions. And this one is more about speeding up your individual evolution, spiritually. It's like a download just unique for you when you have the reconnection done. Yep. And it's more about if you want something to change your life. So reconnective healing, the intent is to heal, where the reconnection is for changing your life. So sometimes people are cruising along, you know, just kind of,
So
they need something to jumpstart their life. And that does it, the
You kind of
reconnection.
move, you get stuck in a rut
Yeah,
sometimes.
this does. It cleans out what's no longer necessary, and people have reported they just really speed along.
Well, in my work, I've always found that there will be certain times that I'll be stuck, and I can feel it, and I'm like, oh yeah, how do I get unstuck? So I have to kind of think about that. And when I sit down and start running my energy and clearing myself from whatever I'm stuck in, I see the miracles really happen at that point. I've been waiting for a situation to happen. It's been a whole year. It hasn't happened. I finally got a little, and I put that energy out there. And the next day, I got a phone call from who I'd been waiting for, and they say, "Oh, we're ready to go to the next step and sign some papers." And I said, "Wow, just move that energy out. Sometimes it gets stuck." And,
Well, the reconnection is like, you know, I think of in the ER, how somebody's heart comes in and their heart stops, and the reconnection is like taking the paddles